On our daughter's third birthday, my husband was approached by a young woman who demanded a kiss in the street. Instead of pushing her away, he wrapped his arms around her waist. I stood on the opposite sidewalk holding our daughter, watching them kiss passionately before the camera. Afterward, he explained, "Lucy is the company's new intern. She said it was a prank show and asked me to play along. It was just a joke, don't take it seriously." A joke? I watched the birthday cake in my daughter's hands, its frosting already melting and dripping onto her new dress. She whispered to me, "Mommy, why did Daddy kiss that other lady?" Turns out my daughter's birthday and my 10-year marriage were fair game for jokes. The next day, I vanished with my daughter. My husband went crazy. A month before my daughter Mia's third birthday, I began preparing. I ordered her favorite strawberry cake, bought a princess dress, and even took a half-day off work to take her to the amusement park. This was a rare moment of togetherness for our family of 3. For the past 6 months, Jack has been working overtime almost every day. Sometimes Mia doesn't see her dad for an entire week. That's why I'm making this birthday extra special. At 6 in the morning, I got up and started preparing. I cooked Mia her favorite little wontons, specially shaped like little bunnies. Watching her happily gobble them up one by one, my heart melted completely. "Mom, was Mia the little princess today?" She tilted her little face up, her eyes sparkling. "Yes, our Mia is the most beautiful little princess in the whole world." I dressed her in the new pink princess dress I'd bought, braided her hair into 2 little pigtails, and tied a bow on each one. She twirled around and around in front of the mirror. "Mommy, is Mia pretty?" "Pretty? Very pretty." I kissed her cheek. "Come on, let's go pick up Dad, then we'll head to the amusement park together." Before stepping out, I double-checked the contents of my bag. Wipes, tissues, water bottle, sunscreen, snacks, and the camera. I wanted to capture every moment of Mia's third birthday. Jack had a meeting on the commercial street near the office, which was supposed to end at noon. I arrived early at the cake shop to pick up the cake I'd reserved. It was a 3-tier strawberry cream cake, topped with Mia's favorite little rabbit decoration. The shop assistant carefully placed the cake into the box. "What a beautiful cake. Is it for a baby's birthday?" "Yes, my daughter is turning 3. 3 years old. Such a sweet age." The clerk smiled and said, "It's a bit warm out, so you'll want to get this delivered quickly, otherwise the frosting might melt." I thanked her, then set off down the shopping street, carrying the cake in one hand and holding Mia's other. Mia bounced up and down excitedly. "Mommy, won't Daddy be so surprised when he sees Mia?" "He will. Daddy will definitely be surprised." I glanced at the time, 11:30. Jack said he could wrap up his meeting by noon. We could wait for him at Fountain Square first. The Fountain Plaza on the commercial street is the liveliest spot in the city center. On weekends, it's always bustling with various activities. Today was no exception. Someone was filming something, drawing quite a crowd. I didn't pay much attention, just wanting to find a shady spot to sit and wait for Jack. But just then, Mia suddenly tugged at my hand. "Mom, that man looks like Dad." I followed the direction of Mia's finger. My heart skipped a beat. It really was Jack. He was standing by the fountain, wearing the same blue shirt he'd left the house in that morning. Just as I was about to call out to him, a young woman suddenly rushed up to him. In her early 20s, she wore a white dress with long hair cascading down her shoulders. Standing on tiptoe, she cupped Jack's face with both hands, about to kiss him. Time seemed to stand still in that moment. I thought Jack would push her away. Get angry. Demand to know what she was doing. But he didn't. He just froze for a second, less than a second. Then his arm wrapped around her waist. He pulled her closer. There they were, under the sun, before the fountain, in plain sight, locked in a passionate kiss. Someone nearby was filming them, the camera trained squarely on the couple. Others cheered them on. "Wow, so sweet. Is this for some show? They make such a perfect pair." I stood frozen on the opposite side of the street. The cake box in my hand suddenly felt heavy, so heavy I could barely hold it. Mia tugged at my hand. "Mom, is that Dad?" Her voice was soft, tinged with doubt and unease. I opened my mouth but no sound came out. My throat felt blocked, dry and parched. It really was Jack, my husband of 10 years, Mia's father. The woman kissing him was young, beautiful, and radiant with a bright smile. Her white dress shimmered in the sunlight, reminding me so much of myself 10 years ago. No, she was younger and more vibrant than I was back then. They kissed for a long time. Not a quick peck, but a real deep kiss. The woman's arms wrapped around Jack's neck, her whole body practically hanging on him. And Jack's hands held her waist tightly. So natural, so skilled. As if they'd done it countless times. Finally, they pulled apart. The woman laughed until she was shaking, even flashing a peace sign at the camera. Jack was laughing too, genuinely happy. He reached up to smooth her hair, tousled by the wind, the gesture intimate and effortless. I picked up Mia and turned to leave. My legs felt like they were made of lead, each step a struggle. Mia rested her head on my shoulder and whispered, "Mommy, the cake is going to melt." Only then did I notice the blazing sun. The temperature must have been at least 35 degrees. The cake box had softened slightly, cream seeping through the cracks and dripping onto the floor. 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops. Like my heart, melting bit by bit, bleeding. Mia's new dress was also splattered with cream, leaving several white spots on the pink skirt. "Mommy, Mia's dress is dirty," she said, her voice full of hurt, tears welling up in her eyes. "It's okay, Mommy will wash it clean when we get home," I replied, my voice hoarse. I found a trash can and tossed the cake inside. A 3-tier strawberry cake decorated with little bunnies, Mia's 3rd birthday cake. Just like that, ruined. Mia stared at the cake in the trash and finally couldn't hold back her tears. "Mommy, Mia's cake. Mommy will buy you another one, okay?" "No, Mia wants this one." She sobbed until she was out of breath, her little shoulders shaking. I held her tight, tears streaming down my face. 10 minutes later, Jack called. I stared at his name flashing on the screen, hesitated for a few seconds, then answered. "Honey, did you guys arrive yet? I just wrapped up here." His voice was light and cheerful, as if nothing had happened. In the background, I could hear voices, like he was saying goodbye to someone. I took a deep breath, trying to make my own voice sound normal. "We'll wait for you at the amusement park entrance." "Okay, I'll be right there." "Did you buy a cake for Mia?" "Yes, I did." "That's good. I'll come over immediately." After hanging up, I took Mia to the nearest mall. I bought a small cake and changed Mia into a different outfit. But Mia was still upset, quietly sniffling the whole time. "Mom, why does Daddy kiss other ladies?" She kept asking this question. At 3 years old, she already understood so much. She knew her parents loved each other, and that only people in love would kiss. So she doesn't understand why Daddy would kiss someone else. How should I answer her? Say it's just acting? Say Daddy is working? But I don't even believe it myself. 20 minutes later, Jack arrived. He was wearing the same outfit, though his tie was slightly askew and the hem of his shirt was a bit wrinkled. His hair was also a little messy, as if he'd just combed it. "Mia, Daddy's here," he exclaimed, opening his arms to hug his daughter. Mia shrank back, her little hands clutching my shirt tightly. "What's wrong, sweetie?" Jack asked, a hint of surprise in his voice as he leaned closer. "Come on, let Daddy give you a hug." Mia shook her head, burying her face in my chest. After a moment, she turned her head, looked at me, then at Jack. "Daddy, why did you kiss that other lady just now?" Jack's expression shifted slightly. The change was so subtle, so fleeting, that if I didn't know him so well, I might not have noticed it at all. He looked at me, a flicker of panic in his eyes. "Were you guys just on the commercial street?" I nodded, staring into his eyes. He looked away and laughed awkwardly. "Oh, that. Lucy's the new intern at the company. She said she was filming some prank show and insisted I play along. It's just a joke, don't take it seriously. He said it so casually, as if he were commenting on the weather. As he spoke, he reached out to pat Mia on the head. Mia dodged him. A joke? I looked at him. Kissing for so long in front of all those people, you call that a joke? I deliberately didn't specify how long, just to see his reaction. Jack frowned. Emily, you're not being that petty, are you? It's just posing for a show. Besides, she initiated it, I just couldn't bring myself to push her away. We're colleagues, after all, you gotta give someone some face. Give someone some face? I sneered inwardly. If he was really too embarrassed to push her away, why did he wrap his arms around her waist? Why did he pull her into his embrace? Why did he help her fix her hair after they parted? He gave her face, but what about mine? I fought to keep my emotions in check, not wanting to lose my composure in front of Mia. What about Mia's feelings? Do you remember what day it is today? Jack paused, then realized, Mia's birthday. Of course I remember. He quickly pulled a box from his bag. Look, Dad got Mia a present. It was a delicate little necklace. But Mia didn't even glance at it, she just clung to me, refusing to let go. Jack was getting impatient. All right, stop fussing. Today's Mia's birthday, don't ruin the mood. Mia, come on, Daddy will take you on the carousel. He tried to pull Mia out of my arms. Mia cried, no, Mommy. Mia wants to go home. She was crying so hard, tears and snot smeared all over her face. People around us started staring. I picked her up. All right, let's go home. Jack's face darkened. Emily, what's this about? Did you do this on purpose? Had to throw a tantrum on the kid's birthday? Look at yourself, what have you turned this child into? Crying at the drop of a hat, no manners whatsoever. I ignored him and walked off with Mia in my arms. He followed behind, his voice growing louder. Emily, don't push it too far. It's just a show, right? Is it really that big of a deal? What's the point of throwing such a tantrum? The stares from passers-by felt like needles piercing my skin. But I didn't care anymore. Compared to being the center of attention, my daughter's feelings mattered more to me. She's so young, yet she has to endure all this. It's all because she has an irresponsible father. Back home, I placed the cake on the table. It was a small, last-minute purchase, just a single layer with simple decorations. Compared to the 3-tiered cake from that morning, it looked pitifully modest. Mia stared at the cake, tears falling one after another. Mommy, Mia's cake is ruined. She remembered the beautiful big cake from that morning. She remembered the little bunny on top. Mommy will buy you another one, okay? No, Mia wants the original one. She sobbed until she was breathless, her little body shaking with each sob. At 3 years old, she didn't understand betrayal or hurt. All she knew was that Daddy had kissed another lady, her birthday cake had melted, and her pretty dress was now dirty. This birthday was absolutely awful. Holding her close, I couldn't stop the tears from falling. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. It's all Mom's fault. I didn't take good care of your cake. Mia wrapped her arms around my neck. Don't cry, Mom. Mia doesn't want cake anymore. She was still crying herself, yet she turned around to comfort me. My heart ached as if it were being sliced by a knife. So many memories came flooding back. 10 years ago, when Jack was pursuing me, he would wait for me downstairs at the dorm every morning. He brought breakfast, flowers, and all sorts of little gifts. He said, Emily, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I want to marry you and spend the rest of my life with you. Back then, his eyes sparkled with light, and his smile was genuine. We kissed beneath the most beautiful sycamore tree on campus, and he promised he'd love only me for the rest of his life. After graduation, we got married soon after. There was no grand wedding ceremony, just a simple civil registration followed by a meal with both sets of parents. Jack said, once I've made it in my career, I'll definitely throw you a grand wedding. I said yes. Then came starting a business, getting pregnant, having a baby. Before I knew it, 10 years had passed. The grand wedding I'd hoped for never came. Instead, I caught him kissing another woman. On our daughter's birthday, no less. Is that ridiculous? I think it's ridiculous. That evening, Jack returned home. In his hands he carried a new cake and a plush teddy bear. Mia, Daddy bought you a new cake and a little bear. His tone had softened considerably, as if he'd realized something. Mia was already asleep, exhausted from crying. Tear stains still clung to her small face, and she would occasionally sob in her sleep. Jack set down his things and sat across from me. Emily, we need to talk. I said nothing, just stared out the window. The night was deep, the streetlights dim and yellow. Just like my mood. He sighed, I know you're upset, but you have to understand me. Lucy just joined the company, she's young and inexperienced. She said she wanted to shoot a video to gain followers, and I couldn't bring myself to refuse. You know me, I'm a softie. Plus, she said this video could help promote the company, and I figured it wasn't a big deal. A softie? Promote the company? I remembered that deep kiss, that embrace, that hair-tossing gesture. This is being soft? This is promotion? Jack, do you remember when we last kissed? I asked suddenly. He froze, looking awkward. Well, who keeps track of that? I remember. I looked at him. 3 months ago. You were drunk and mistook me for someone else. You held me and said, Lucy, you're so beautiful. Jack's face turned pale. What nonsense are you talking about? He jumped to his feet. When did I ever say such a thing? It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. I remained calm. Jack, I have a few more questions for you. Do you remember my birthday? Do you remember our wedding anniversary? Do you remember when Mia first called me Daddy? Do you remember what her favorite cartoon was? Do you remember what she was afraid of? One question after another. Jack couldn't answer them. His face grew increasingly grim. I'm not making this up, you know it's true. I stood up. Jack, this is a great joke. So great, in fact, that it makes me think our marriage is nothing but a joke. He snapped, Emily, stop being unreasonable. Lucy and I have nothing going on, today was purely for the shoot. If you keep being so suspicious, we can't go on like this. I laughed, yeah, we can't go on like this. Jack, I ask you this, if it were me being kissed by another man in the street today, how would you react? Would you say it was just a joke? Would you understand my predicament? He was speechless. After a long while, he finally said, that's different. What's different? It's just different. He scratched his head in frustration. You're my wife, how could you be with another man? So you can be with other women? I cut him off. Because you're a man? The next day, Jack went to work. Before leaving, he warned me, Emily, cut it out. Think about Mia. A child needs a complete family. If you truly care about her, stop being unreasonable. A complete family? I gazed at Mia's sleeping face. She had a nightmare last night, crying the whole time and crying out, Daddy, don't kiss other ladies. Is this family really whole? I took Mia to kindergarten. On the way, she asked me, Mommy, will Daddy kiss other ladies again? I didn't know how to answer. Mom, if Daddy likes another lady, will he stop loving Mia? Her eyes were all red, like a little rabbit. I stroked her head, does Mia want Daddy? She thought for a moment and shook her head, Mia wants Mommy. Daddy will kiss other ladies, but Mommy won't. A child's logic is simple. She likes whoever treats her well. She dislikes whoever makes her sad. After dropping Mia off, I didn't go to work. Instead, I went home and started packing. I didn't have much, 10 years of marriage, and I'd been like an invisible person. Most of the clothes in the wardrobe belonged to Jack, mine occupied only a small corner. The vanity held no cosmetics, just his razor and cologne. The jewelry box contained only our wedding rings and a few inexpensive trinkets. Jack had promised to buy me a diamond ring, a necklace, all kinds of jewelry. But 10 years later, not a single piece had materialized. Yesterday, though, the little necklace he bought for Mia looked quite expensive. In the photo album, there were very few pictures taken after their wedding. Most were of Mia, and there were almost none of me and Jack together. There were quite a few group photos of him with his colleagues, though. I looked closely and noticed that several photos featured a girl named Lucy. She was always standing beside Jack, smiling sweetly. In one photo from a company dinner, her hand was resting on Jack's shoulder. There's another one, a group photo from a team-building event, where the two of them are standing very close together. Turns out, they hadn't just met the day before yesterday. I kept flipping through the photo album and discovered more details. At the company annual meeting 3 months ago, Lucy wore a red dress and took the stage with Jack to accept an award. At the team-building event 2 months ago, they were on the same boat. At the dinner gathering a month ago, we sat together. In every photo, Lucy's gaze toward Jack was different. It was admiration, it was affection, it was determination. And Jack? His smile was brighter than usual. At home, he rarely smiled like that. Many details came flooding back to me. Over the past 6 months, Jack had been coming home later and later. He claimed it was for social engagements or overtime work. On the rare occasions he returned early, he was glued to his phone, smiling. I asked him what he was looking at, and he said it was a joke in the workgroup chat. Now that I think about it, he was probably chatting with Lucy. And that other time, when he was talking in his sleep in the middle of the night. I heard him call out a name, softly, but I heard it. Lucy. More memories came flooding back. When we got married, my parents gave me a dowry of 200,000 yuan. Jack's family wasn't well off, so I gave him all the money to start his own business. He said, "Honey, once I make money, I'll make sure you live a good life." During those early years of starting his business, he worked long hours every day. I stayed home alone, cooking, doing laundry, and cleaning. I never complained, I just wanted to support him. When I got pregnant, I quit my job to focus on taking care of myself. During the worst of my morning sickness, he was away on a business trip. I vomited into the toilet alone until I was completely drained. He said, "Honey, you've been through so much. Once the baby's a little older, you can do whatever you want." After Mia was born, I never went back to work. It wasn't that I didn't want to, I just didn't have the time. Taking care of the kids, taking care of him, taking care of this household, I poured every ounce of my time into it. And him? His company keeps growing, his social engagements keep multiplying. He comes home later and later, speaks less and less. I've become his free babysitter, while Mia is just a toy he occasionally plays with. At noon, I received a call from an unknown number. "Is this Emily?" "This is Lucy." The voice was sweet and girlish, it belonged to the woman who kissed Jack yesterday. I paused for a few seconds. "What do you want?" "Emily, I'm really sorry about yesterday. I didn't realize you and Mia were there." She emphasized that she didn't know you were present, not that she shouldn't have kissed him. "I just wanted to film a video, and Jack was really nice about it, he played along." "You're not mad, are you?" "Actually, this is also for company promotion. Jack said short video traffic is crucial now. Our company needs a younger image, so." I cut her off. "So you chose kissing as your approach?" "This?" She paused, her voice suddenly softening. "Actually, I can understand how you feel. After all, you and Jack have been married for so many years. The novelty has surely worn off, and seeing a young woman get close, it's only natural to start wondering. But rest assured, I really don't have those kinds of feelings for Jack." Lucy continued, "Though Jack is truly wonderful, thoughtful and a gentleman. Yesterday when I kissed him, my heart was racing. His lips were so soft, and his cologne smelled amazing. Plus, he's really good at kissing, especially at. I hung up. My hands are shaking. Not from anger, but from disgust. This woman is more scheming than I ever imagined. Her apology is just a pretense, it's a provocation. She's telling me she's young, she's beautiful, she's the one who made Jack's heart race. She's telling me they kissed more than once. And I? Just a stale, worn-out housewife. I unlocked my phone and searched for her social media accounts. Found them easily enough. Yesterday's video was already posted, titled, Street Prank, Random Challenge, Kiss a Stranger. In the video, she pretended not to recognize Jack and rushed forward to kiss him. Jack looked surprised for a moment, then cooperated by pulling her close. The camera zoomed in for a close-up. They kissed passionately and authentically. It didn't feel like acting, it looked more like a real couple. The comment section erupted with cheers. This guy is so handsome. They don't seem like strangers at all, they're so in sync. That girl is brave, I wouldn't dare do that. What a fairy tale romance. Some people even said, that guy's obviously married, how disgusting. Lucy replied, nope, he's single. Single? I sneered. In her eyes, Jack was single. Then what about me? What about Mia? I took a screenshot, intending to send it to Jack. But then I thought, what good would it do? He'd say it was just Lucy trying to make the show more interesting. He'd say I'm overreacting. He'd say I'm being unreasonable. Just like every argument over the past decade. It's always my fault, I'm too sensitive, I overthink things, I'm not generous enough. I put down my phone and continued packing. Mia's clothes, toys, and daily necessities, I packed each item carefully. Every piece of clothing was chosen with care by me. Each toy held a story. This teddy bear was her first birthday gift, that doll was a reward for her first steps. And her little shoes, from first walkers to these little leather shoes. I couldn't bear to throw any of it away, so I neatly packed everything into a box. I own very little, just one suitcase holds all my belongings. A decade of my youth fits into this single suitcase. A few pieces of clothing, a handful of jewelry, a few bottles of cosmetics. Nothing else. In the afternoon, I went to the bank to check my account. My card only had 30,000 yuan. For the past 10 years, I haven't worked, relying entirely on Jack for all my expenses. He gives me a monthly allowance, neither too much nor too little, just enough to get by. If I want to buy a new piece of clothing, I have to think about it for a long time. I want to buy some decent skincare products, but I have to wait for a sale. And him? A single suit costs tens of thousands, a watch over 100,000. When he treats people to meals, it's thousands or even tens of thousands per meal. I checked Jack's spending records again. After we got married, our bank accounts were linked, so I could see his transactions. Over the past 6 months, his spending has been quite interesting. Chanel handbag, 28,000. Cartier bracelet, 35,000. Dior lipstick gift set, 3,000. SK2 skincare set, 5,000. I didn't receive a single one of these. So who did? The answer is obvious. Then there's the restaurant bills. Michelin-starred restaurants, 2,000 per person. Japanese restaurants, 1,500 per person. French restaurants, 3,000 per person. And me? I can't even remember the last time Jack and I went out to eat. Oh, I remember now. Last year on my birthday, he said he had to work overtime and told me to order takeout myself. I got a bowl of spicy hot pot for 28 yuan. I ate it alone, cut the cake alone, and made a wish alone. What was that wish again? That our family would always be together. How ridiculous. In the evening, I went to pick up Mia. The teacher said, Mia's mom, Mia wasn't in a good mood today. She kept asking if Daddy doesn't want her anymore. She even cried during lunch, saying Daddy doesn't want her anymore because he has a new auntie. My heart ached. Thank you for your concern, teacher. I'll make sure to comfort her. The teacher hesitated, then simply patted my shoulder. She must have sensed something. Mia, would you like to go somewhere with mommy? I asked her after we got in the car. Where? Somewhere just for mommy and Mia. She blinked. Isn't daddy coming? Daddy has to work. Then will daddy kiss other ladies? A child's world is simple. She doesn't understand what infidelity or betrayal means. All she knows is that daddy kissed someone else, and mommy is very sad. All she knows is that daddy might not want them anymore. Mia, would you be okay if only mommy stayed with you? I looked at her little face in the rearview mirror. She nodded vigorously, yes. Mommy is Mia's favorite. Mommy won't kiss any other uncles, mommy only loves Mia. Tears welled up in my eyes. For her sake, I've endured all these years. And for her sake, I can endure no longer. I refuse to let her grow up in this environment. I refuse to let her believe women must swallow their pride. I refuse to let her think men cheating is normal. I refuse to let her repeat my life. Mia, Mom asked if you want to go on a trip? Yes. Mia wants to go somewhere with the ocean. Okay, Mom will take you to see the sea. Really? Her eyes lit up. Really, we'll leave tomorrow. That night, Jack came home late, reeking of alcohol. He'd been drinking with clients and had overindulged. He collapsed onto the couch. Emily, get me a glass of water. I didn't move. He glared at me with annoyance. What, still mad? How many times do I have to tell you, there's nothing between me and Lucy? Can you just grow up? Stop acting like a jealous wife, always suspicious and paranoid. Grow up? Jealous wife? I laughed. Jack, Lucy said you're single. He sobered up instantly. What? I showed him the screenshot. Under the video, Lucy's reply was crystal clear. He frowned. This must be for dramatic effect. I'll talk to her later and have her clarify. No, thanks. I stood up. Jack, you're single, what about me? What am I? He snapped impatiently, you're my wife. Why ask such stupid questions? Wife. Your wife. I sneered. What have you ever bought for your wife? Over these 10 years, do you remember my birthday? Do you remember our wedding anniversary? Do you remember what I like and dislike? Do you understand me? Do you love me? One question after another. Jack couldn't answer. He tugged at his hair in frustration. Emily, what exactly do you want? Nothing. I'm calm, Jack. How long has it been since you last touched me? He froze. 3 months? 6 months? Or longer? Do you remember when we last kissed? Do you remember when we last embraced? He was speechless. Jack, you know what? I continued, all these years, I've been invisible. At home, I'm the nanny, the cook, the cleaner. Out in public, no one knows I'm your wife. Your coworkers see me and ask who I am. You never bring me to company gatherings. You never introduce me to your friends. To others, you're clearly single. And I don't exist. Jack stood up. What nonsense are you spouting? I didn't take you out because you had to look after the kids. I didn't post your photos to protect your privacy. You don't bother dressing up or socializing, and you blame me? Protecting privacy? That's laughable. Then why can you post Lucy's videos? Then why can you bring Lucy to parties? Jack, stop making excuses. I'm looking at you, you just don't love me anymore. Or rather, you never did. You only love young, beautiful women. 10 years ago it was me, now it's Lucy. When Lucy gets old, there'll be another one. He was furious. Emily, don't make such outrageous accusations. If I didn't love you, would I have married you? Would I have had children with you? Would I have supported you all these years? Supported me? I remember that 200,000 yuan dowry. I remember all the sacrifices I've made over the years. Jack, I'm the one who raised you. Without my dowry, how would you have started your business? Without me managing the household, could you have focused on your work? Without me taking care of the children, could you have attended social events every day? I made you what you are, you didn't raise me. Emily, what exactly are you trying to say? Jack finally snapped. I'm saying this joke was brilliant. So brilliant it made me realize I'm not even worth a joke to you. I went back to the bedroom and locked the door. I heard things crashing in the living room. Jack is furious. Emily, get out here. How long are you going to keep this up over such a trivial matter? You're just going through early menopause, paranoid as hell. You're crazy. I ignored him. I opened my phone and booked 2 plane tickets. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll fly south. To a brand new city, a place without Jack. I glanced at the clock. 1 a.m. Mia slept soundly, her tiny hand still clutching the hem of my shirt. As if afraid I'd leave. Sweetheart, Mommy won't leave you. I gently kissed her forehead. Mommy will take you to see a bigger world. At 3 in the morning, the living room finally fell silent. I quietly opened the door. Jack was asleep on the couch. The coffee table was littered with empty bottles. He'd been drinking heavily again. I went to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and placed it on the coffee table. This was the last time I would look after him. Then I started loading the luggage. Trip after trip, I carried everything to the car. Jack slept soundly, completely unaware. The alcohol had dulled his senses. Just like this marriage had dulled mine. As dawn approached, I picked up Mia. She opened her sleepy eyes. Mommy, where are we going? To see the ocean. Really? Really? She happily wrapped her arms around my neck. Mommy's the best. I took one last look at this home. 10 years. I spent the best 10 years of my life here. And the worst 10 years. I left a note in the living room. Jack, if marriage is a joke, then let's call it quits. Just one simple sentence. No need for lengthy explanations. Then, I left this home we'd shared for 10 years, holding Mia in my arms. Before dawn, the streets were deserted. Mia had fallen asleep again in my arms. She didn't know we were leaving. Leaving the place that broke Mom's heart. Leaving the place where Dad would kiss other women. I drove to a hotel near the airport. By noon, I had dressed Mia in a pretty dress. Mia, we're going to fly on an airplane. Fly on an airplane? Mia had never flown before. She was so excited she started dancing around. A 3-year-old child is full of wonder about everything. She didn't know what parting meant. She only knew she was going to see the sea, that she'd be flying. Before boarding, I turned off my phone. I didn't want to hear Jack's voice. I didn't want to hear his explanations, his roars, his threats. Mia was flying for the first time, gripping my hand tightly with nerves. Mommy, will the plane fall? No, airplanes are safe. What about Daddy? Why isn't he here yet? I stroked her head. Daddy isn't coming. Why? Because Daddy's going to be with another lady. Mia was silent for a moment. Then Mia doesn't want Daddy anymore. Mia only wants Mommy. The moment the plane took off, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. 10 years of marriage ended just like that. No heart-wrenching arguments, no hysterical breakdowns. Just a quiet departure. Like a breeze, leaving no trace. We landed in a small southern town. It was hot here, the air humid. Palm trees and bougainvillea bloomed everywhere. Mia wasn't adjusting well. Mom, it's so hot here. You'll get used to it in a few days. Mom, is there an ocean here? Yes, a big, blue ocean. I rented a small apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 living room, quite modest. But it has a little balcony with a view of the sea in the distance. Mia perched on the balcony, calling out excitedly, Mommy, Mia sees the ocean. It's so blue and beautiful. Seeing her joy, I felt it was all worth it. After settling in, I unlocked my phone. Hundreds of missed calls, all from Jack. Countless messages, Emily, where are you? Where did you take Mia? Have you lost your mind? Come back now. If you don't come back soon, don't blame me for getting serious. I didn't reply, just blocked him outright. Then I called my mom. Mom, Mia and I are out of town. Everything's fine. What? Where did you go? Mom's voice sounded panicked. I won't tell you now. We'll talk about it later. Emily, did you and Jack have a fight? He just called me saying you took Mia and left. He's frantic, searching everywhere for you too. I paused for a moment. Mom, I've made up my mind. I don't want this marriage anymore. On the other end of the line, Mom was silent for a long time. Emily, are you sure about this? I'm sure. All right then, I support you. Take good care of yourself and Mia out there. Call me if you need anything. After hanging up, I cried. It was the first time I'd cried in 2 days. Not out of sadness, but out of relief. On the third day, I took Mia to the beach. Seeing the real ocean for the first time, she was absolutely thrilled. She ran barefoot back and forth across the sand. When the waves came crashing in, she'd scream and run backward. The waves receded, and she chased after the spray once more. Covered in sand from playing, she laughed like a little angel. Mommy, the seawater is salty, she exclaimed, wincing as she tasted the spray that splashed into her mouth. Silly, you can't drink seawater. Mom, can Mia come see the ocean every day? Sure. Great. Mia loves the ocean most. She collects seashells on the beach and builds sandcastles. When the sun sets in the west, we sit on the beach watching the sunset. The orange sun slowly sank below the horizon. The clouds at the edge of the sky were dyed gold. Mia snuggled into my arms. Mommy, it's so beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Much more beautiful than that cold house. In the evening, we ate seafood at a seaside food stall. Mia tasted such fresh seafood for the first time, her mouth full of oil. Mom, these shrimp are huge. Eat slowly, don't choke. Mom, the crab is so delicious. She ate happily, completely forgetting about Dad. Children always adapt remarkably well. Wherever Mom is, that's home. The shop owner, charmed by Mia's cuteness, gave her a little seashell. Little one, hold the shell to your ear, you'll hear the sound of the ocean. Mia pressed the seashell earnestly to her ear. Mommy, I really can hear it. Whoosh, whoosh, just like the wind. Seeing her delighted expression, I smiled too. It was the first genuine laugh I'd had in days. A week later, I took Mia to enroll at a nearby kindergarten. The principal was a kind middle-aged woman. After glancing at my paperwork, she didn't ask a single question and simply processed Mia's admission. Single moms have it tough. If you need anything, just let me know, she said, patting my shoulder. I nodded gratefully. Mia quickly adapted to her new surroundings. Children from the South are lively and outgoing, and she soon found friends to play with. Every day when she came home, she'd excitedly tell me, Mom, Mia made new friends. Mom, the teacher praised Mia's beautiful drawings. Mom, we have arts and crafts tomorrow, and Mia is making a little crab. Seeing her grow more cheerful day by day, I know my choice was right. I've also started looking for work. After 10 years out of the workforce, there aren't many jobs I can do. But I'm not picky, anything that can support myself and Mia will do. Finally landed a copywriting job at an advertising agency. The pay wasn't great, but the boss was really nice. Knowing I was a single mom, he allowed flexible hours. During the day, Mia went to kindergarten while I worked. At night, I played with her and read her stories. On weekends, I take her to the beach, to the park, to all sorts of places to have fun. Life without Jack is actually easier. No more waiting for him to come home, no more reading his mood. No more worrying about who he's with out there. No more wondering if he loves me. Mia has become much more cheerful too. She no longer asks about Dad. Occasionally she'll say, "Mom, Mia likes it here. There's the ocean, and lots of friends." Mom doesn't cry anymore either. It turns out, children know everything. A month later, my mom called. "Emily, Jack's gone crazy. He's been coming to our house every day looking for you and even called the police. He says you kidnapped the child." I laughed coldly. "Mom, Mia is my biological child. Taking my own child isn't illegal." "I know, I've told him everything. But he won't listen, he's even threatening to sue you." "Let him sue. I'm calm about it, Mom. Just pretend you don't know where I am. If he wants a divorce, let him file. I don't want the assets, but Mia must stay with me." Mom sighed. "Are you absolutely sure?" "I'm sure. That Lucy girl, she's been going over to his place every day," Mom suddenly said. "What?" "Jack's mom told me. She said that girl goes over to take care of Jack every day. She also said it's all a misunderstanding and wants you to come back." I laughed. This is what Jack meant by nothing. The moment I left, she couldn't wait. "Mom, just leave it alone. Let them do whatever they want." After hanging up, I stared out the window at the sea. So this was the marriage I'd fought so hard to preserve, it was so fragile. The moment I left, someone else stepped right in. And they did it openly and brazenly. Is that funny? Not at all. Because I should have known better. From the moment he called me crazy for Lucy's sake. From the moment he kissed someone else in front of our daughter. This marriage was already dead. I was just giving it a proper funeral. 3 months later, the court summons arrived. Jack filed for divorce and sought custody of Mia, citing my mental instability and the unauthorized removal of the child. I hired a lawyer, a female attorney specializing in divorce cases. After reviewing the documents, she said, "You've consistently cared for the child and have stable employment, so securing custody shouldn't be too difficult. However, the other party has strong financial resources and may contest it. Additionally, since you left without notice back then, they might use that against you, arguing you're unfit to raise the child." I pulled out my phone. I have the evidence. That video, those screenshots, and the messages Lucy sent. The lawyer looked at them and smiled. "That's enough. This is sufficient proof of his infidelity. Combined with all your years of sacrifice, the child will undoubtedly be awarded to you." I breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Mia can be with me, nothing else matters. On the day of the hearing, I saw Jack. After 3 months apart, he had grown noticeably thinner. His face was unshaven, his eyes bloodshot. Spotting Mia and me, he jumped to his feet in excitement. "Mia!" Mia hid behind me, refusing to look at him. 3 months had passed, and she was already beginning to forget what her father looked like. Or rather, she didn't want to remember. A flicker of hurt crossed Jack's eyes. "Emily, how could you do this? She's my daughter. What right do you have to take her away?" I remained silent. My lawyer spoke for me. My client is the child's mother and has the right to decide the child's custody. Furthermore, based on the evidence we possess, you were unfaithful during the marriage. You are unfit to obtain custody of the child. Jack's face turned pale. "I was not unfaithful. It was all a misunderstanding." The court proceedings didn't take long. My lawyer presented all the evidence, videos, screenshots, purchase records, and Jack's bank statements from the past few years. He spent hundreds of thousands on bags and jewelry for Lucy, yet only gave me $5,000 a month for Mia and my living expenses. The judge asked Mia, "Sweetie, do you want to live with your dad or your mom?" Mia answered without hesitation, "With my mom." "Why?" "Because Dad kisses other ladies." The courtroom fell silent. Jack's face turned pale. "Mia, Daddy was wrong. Daddy won't do it again. Daddy promises, never again." Mia shook her head. "Mia doesn't believe you. Daddy lies." A 3-year-old already knew what deception was. Jack was speechless. The judge asked Mia a few more questions. Do you enjoy spending time with your mom? Yes. Your mom takes you to the ocean, and you really like it. Do you miss your dad? Mia paused for a moment, a little bit. But daddy makes mommy cry. Mia doesn't like it when mommy cries. The child's words cut to the bone. Jack's lawyer attempted to argue, the child is still young and easily misled. My client is financially well off and can provide a better life for the child. Meanwhile, the other party has no stable income and drifts from place to place with the child. My attorney countered, my client has stable employment and a fixed residence. The child has adapted well to the new environment and is in good physical and mental health. In contrast, the opposing party committed adultery during the marriage and is morally corrupt. How could such a person possibly raise a child properly? Ultimately, the court granted the divorce. Mia was awarded to me, with Jack obligated to pay $8,000 in monthly child support. Regarding assets, the house was purchased by Jack before our marriage, so I have no claim to it. Our savings were minimal, with most funds held in Jack's company. I received $200,000. It was exactly the same amount as my dowry back then. 10 years of marriage, not a penny more. But I don't care. As long as Mia is here, we can earn the money slowly. As I stepped out of the courthouse, Jack caught up to me, Emily, let's talk. I stopped in my tracks. Talk about what? I was wrong, I was truly wrong. His eyes were red-rimmed. These past 3 months, I've regretted it every single day. I shouldn't have treated you that way. I shouldn't have ignored you and Mia. Lucy, she really does have feelings for me. Jack finally admitted it. But I swear, I didn't actually cheat. That kiss was just for the shoot at first. But I admit, it touched my heart. She was young and beautiful, and she idolized me. My vanity got the better of me, and I didn't refuse her advances. I was wrong, I was truly wrong. As he spoke, he actually started crying. A man in his 30s wept like a child outside the courthouse. Emily, can we start over? I promise I'll treat you and Mia right from now on. I've cleared things up with Lucy, she's quit her job. Let's go back. Back to our home. I looked at him, this man I once loved deeply. Now he seemed so unfamiliar. Jack, it's too late. Everything is too late. Do you know? I once loved you so much. I loved you enough to give up everything for you. My job, my friends, my hobbies, even myself. But what about you? You took my love for granted. You treated my devotion as your due. You made my presence invisible. Only when it was lost did you realize your regret. But Jack, feelings aren't something you can lose and then get back. Once they're broken, they're broken. No matter how hard you try to piece them back together, they'll never be the same as before. Emily, I'll change. I'll change everything. Jack was practically on his knees. We'll retake our wedding photos. I'll take you on trips. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Please, just give me one more chance. I shook my head. No need. Jack, do you remember the last time we had a meal together? He couldn't answer. 2 years ago, during the spring festival. After that, you were either entertaining clients or working overtime. On Mia's 2nd birthday, you were with a client. I was hospitalized with appendicitis while you were away on business. Is this what you call a lifetime? He was speechless. Jack, in your lifetime, you have your career, your friends, and Lucy. But you don't have me or Mia. So, let's just go our separate ways. I picked up Mia and turned to leave. He grabbed my hand, Emily, please. For the sake of our 10 years together. For Mia's sake. Give me one more chance. I shook his hand off. 10 years together, he said. These past 10 years, I've been your nanny, not your wife. As for Mia, I looked at the child in my arms. What she needs is a father who loves her, not a man who would betray his family. Jack was about to say something when Mia suddenly spoke up. "Uncle, don't pull Mom away." "Uncle." She called him uncle. Jack was struck dumb. "Mia, I'm your dad." Mia looked at him earnestly and said, "Daddy kisses other ladies. Does uncle do that too?" A child's logic is simple. Anyone who betrays their mother doesn't deserve to be called a father. Jack froze in place, speechless. I picked up Mia and walked away. Behind me came his cries, heart-wrenching, piercing cries. But I didn't look back. Because I knew turning back would mean plunging into an abyss. 5 years later. I'm now the creative director at an advertising agency. Mia is 8 years old, bright, beautiful, and excelling in her studies. She's learned to swim, to paint, and to play the piano. She says she wants to be an artist, painting the most beautiful seas. For the past 5 years, Jack has visited Mia every month. From the initial clinginess to the eventual calm. He watched Mia grow day by day, watched me get better day by day. As for himself, word is his company ran into trouble, leaving him deep in debt. Lucy had long since moved on with someone else. That day, Mia's school held a parent-teacher conference. I left work early to pick her up. At the school gate, I saw Jack again. He looked much older, half his hair now white. "Emily. Is something wrong?" I wanted to ask, "Do you still hate me?" I looked at him, this man I once loved deeply. Now he seemed so unfamiliar, so pitiable. "Jack, I'll give you one piece of advice." "What?" "The worst outcome between people isn't falling out of love, nor is it hatred. It's not caring anymore." "I don't care anymore." He froze in place, tears suddenly welling up. "Emily, what about me? Is there still a place for me in your heart? Even just a little?" I shook my head, "No. Not a single bit." I took Mia's hand. "Mia, let's go home." Mia obediently followed me. After a few steps, she glanced back. Jack was still standing there, like a statue. "Mommy, that uncle is crying." "Mommy, aren't you sad?" I stroked her head. "Don't be sad." "Why?" "Because Mommy doesn't care anymore." Mia nodded, seeming to understand yet not quite. After a moment, she said, "Mommy, when Mia grows up, she'll be brave like you. If anyone bullies Mia, Mia will just walk away. Right?" I smiled, "Yes. Our Mia is the smartest." The setting sun stretched our shadows long across the ground. Mia suddenly asked, "Mom, do you regret it?" "Regret what?" "Leaving Dad." I thought for a moment. "I don't regret it. Mom, if we hadn't left, we wouldn't have seen the ocean. We wouldn't have made new friends. And you wouldn't be this happy. Right?" Mia has truly grown up. She understands what choices mean, and what courage means. "Yes, baby. Sometimes leaving is for a better beginning." In the distance, the sunset is slowly sinking. Golden afterglow spills across the sea, glistening with ripples. At night, Mia writes in her diary. I sneak a peek. "I saw that man again today. He's always crying. Mom says he used to be Dad. But Dad shouldn't make moms cry. So he wasn't a good dad. Having Mom is enough for me. Mom took me to see the ocean, taught me how to draw, and watched me grow up. Mom is the best mom in the world. I love my mom." Seeing her childish handwriting, my eyes welled up. Not with sadness, but with deep emotion. These past 5 years, I've done right by her. I taught my daughter what self-respect means, what independence means. What love is, what courage is. Not to swallow her pride and compromise her principles.